Let's talk about Lil Nas X, who's going through it right now. They say the man's still in jail. So Lil Nas X is apparently still in prison. I was like, that's the worst. When you spend like a weekend in prison, or not even prison, when you spend a weekend in jail, and that's the worst time. Don't ever get locked up on a Friday or a Saturday because you're not seeing the judge until midnight Monday morning. So Lil Nas X, you already seen the or know the situation regarding him that he was spotted walking down the street in his tidy whities. There was a lot of people out here that thought that he was putting on a show, that it was a stunt, and it's like if you're not aware if somebody's pulling a stunt, then don't be so quick to jump on that and say that somebody's putting on a stunt when you don't know. Because if it is a stunt to the point where you smacking police officers and things of that nature when they're trying to grab you up or whatever because you being a nuisance, and the nuisance part came in what we didn't know was that he went from the tidy whities being butt ass naked. So yeah, they said earlier he was fully clothed. We saw the pictures of him in the last video that I did where he was like in a what was it, shirt pants. He had on a cowboy, I think he had a cowboy hat, whatever the case was. He stopped in this um building, sat on the bench, he got himself a drink of water, sat on the bench and was like fanning himself. So he was hot. So who knows if like he was overheated or he had done some drugs and it was just like he was on an all day binge or whatever the case was. So then it was 4 in the morning. He was walking down the street. Somebody in the comments, I saw somebody post something on Twitter, the video that I want to find and I'm gonna show y'all. But the person said, "Oh, the streets is clear. This is a stunt." I'm like, first of all, it's 4 in the morning. You don't know LA because I'm sure you probably don't live out there, but clubs and everything close at 2. Like this is not New York. New York, we stay open till 4 in the morning. If you're in LA, yes, they have after parties and things of that nature, but for the most part, everything shuts down by 2. And when I was in LA, I was like, before I moved there, I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea that they have things closing at 2 in the morning. I'm like, that feels kind of early. But by the time it hits 2 o'clock over there, you feel like the day has been so long. You be glad that it's kind of like, okay, 2 o'clock is the closing time. I'm like, okay, I got my life, I'm ready to go. Like it feels early enough, but late enough where it's like you don't want to be in the club that late. Kind of like if you was a New York person or whatever the case is, because you definitely, if you having too much fun in New York, and you don't want the night to end, and it's like, okay. So yeah, I do have that video in case y'all need a refresher. Excuse me. And so hold on a second. Let me pull that up. And then we will come back and talk. Please hold.
Nah, hey,
What
don't
up?
be late to the party tonight.
Where at?
You know where it's at. No, go ahead, babe. No, 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 no. Go ahead, babe. No, 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 no. Didn't I tell you to put the phone down? Uh-oh, somebody's gonna have to pay for that. Da, 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 da.
That boy's a mess,
More
Chad.
like coming to the party.
Yes, honey. You better come to that party.
Yes, I am serving you. I am serving you. And you better be at that party tonight. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, get my good side. Every side. Yes. Boom, cat, towel.
Feeling like pussy, feeling like cunt, feeling like pussy, feeling like cunt. Pussy,
Sean
pussy,
Bankhead taught
pussy.
me that one. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Woo. Yeah. Batty boy, want to give it to me, baby? Batty boy, want to give it to me, baby? It's going to be a beautiful sunrise. Give me that phone so I can throw it. I want to throw it far away so you never see it again. I don't like phones. Don't miss the party tonight. Why are you still here? You need to be telling everybody about the party, girl. What's your problem? Break it down, break it down, break it down.
All right, so that's basically the whole video and everything that y'all see there. Now, it gets a little bit crazier because apparently I came across this other video courtesy of the Neighborhood Talk, which they showed him that he was butt naked doing lyrics from Nicki Minaj's Monster. And this is where the whole arrest situation came down. So when people thinking like it's fake or whatever, no, this was like stuff that escalated to the point. So that's why I say that people need to wait until the videos and everything, because I know a lot of the pundits and things on here, or people just be on social media with no show. They always want to be quick to be the first to put T out there instead of doing all the homework and having all their I's dotted and all their T's crossed. So yeah, there was more that came out. Shout out to the neighborhood tour. Also, TMZ have the video, but this was like the quickest one I could get, and so we're gonna see this clip and then we'll come back and talk. Please hold.
Cause my money ain't. Let me get this straight. Wait, I'm the rookie, but my features and my shows 10 times to pay. 50K for a verse, no album out.
Why my parents has shaped my character.
Cause my money ain't. Let me get this straight. Wait, I'm the rookie, but my features and my shows 10 times.
Yeah, so basically there was that. And then there was some people in the comments that said the following. They said, WTF do Hollywood be doing to our people? I don't think it's necessarily Hollywood. It's a mixture. Like, I think for the most part, it has a lot to do with the drama of the pressures of being an artist, him being openly gay, and the fact of the matter that the hip hop community don't necessarily feel him because they don't want to deal with openly gay artists and thinking that they can't rap, when I know a lot of queer artists who can rap. But the fact of the matter is there's a lot of closet cases or insecure men that run around thinking that, oh, if you work with a gay artist, whatever, then people are going to be, oh, you ain't trying to sleep with me and this, that, and the other. And it's like, sir, you're not even that cute to be even thinking that, oh, just because you in a room with a gay man, that gay man automatically want to hunt you. It's not always about that. It's also that if I have the lyrical cadence and all other stuff to go toe to toe with these other artists, I should be able to do that. But a lot of times there's a lot of that. Plus, with all the Jay Christ stuff and this, that, and the other, because some people, that's been hard on him as well. And so those were a lot of the things that he's been going on as well. Like that backfired because a lot of the religious imagery and things that he was putting in the music video when he was trying to come up with his new era, it wasn't working out. So he kind of just fell off a little bit. And I think like the uber religious people wasn't really feeling what he was doing. So with all that being said, he had to go back to the drawing board. He got rid of his old team. He was up in here trying to come out with new music and things of that nature. And y'all wasn't feeling it. So Nas apparently is going through it right now. And um it's sad to see this crash out happen in real time regarding all this. And then but somebody went and said, that's exactly how I rap and verse in the shower, no shade. Another person said, the one thing about Nicki lyric, you will remember it no matter what. Now y'all making jokes. 50K for a verse, no album out. Then Monique Slaughter, remember her from Love and Hip Hop? She said, my brother did this, walked into the mall completely nude, backpack and hat on. We found out on Twitter, SMH, some kids he knew from school filmed and posted it. Schizophrenia in black males will present itself between the ages of 18 to 30 years old. They will sometimes experience a fracture, relationship, work related, or financial stressors are said to be the more common fractures. An individual who was genetically predisposed to this mental illness can also experience onset or even a delayed drug-induced psychosis. If he overdosed, he has wait. If he overdosed, he'd have been unconscious or unable to function at that level. This is psychosis or mania. He's fractured, praying he receives proper treatment. So I could definitely believe, like, even if it's not drug induced, that I could definitely believe that it probably is a situation where it could be a mental breakdown. We've seen people who've been overworked and things of that nature, and there's a lot going on where they'll have a mental breakdown. Hello, we brought it up on the show before. Mariah Carey during her TRL appearance when she came in them gold booty shorts and then took her the shirt off and the ice cream truck and all that other stuff. So she's been dealing, when she was dealing with that, and then eventually ended up getting the help that she needed. Britney Spears going through all the things that she was going through. So there's a lot going on in regards to that. Oh. So there was just a lot. There's a lot of factors that goes into that, and then so hopefully he gets the help that he needs, and he'll be able to come out of this. I don't think jail is a place for him to get where the help that he needs, whatever. Hopefully he is, there is like a mental evaluation that he's undergoing. But with all of that being said, because that was the setup, I didn't even get to the full story yet. But it was like, yeah, with all the other stuff going on, I wanted to give you a lot of the nuances and a lot of the details before we get to the other tea. So the Blast came out with this story. So they want them saying the Old Town Road rapper has been wandering Ventura Boulevard nearly nude. You already know all of that. But now they're saying that his family and friends, those who genuinely care about him, because I feel like there were people out there that genuinely care about him and were trying to come to his aid. But I think Lil Nas, according to people, was saying like he didn't want to hear it. He was out here doing whatever the hell he wanted to do, or maybe he surrounded himself with a lot of enablers. So yeah, they said his family is terrified that what could happen to him if he doesn't turn his life around. And I believe he's like what, 26, 27. So I'm glad they found this out early and he didn't end up in his 30s being this mess, because he comes from a family of addiction. His mother is a drug addict, and people dragged him because, well, why don't you help your mother get off the street and da 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 da. And it's like, I can get her into rehab. I could do all the things. And what makes you think I wasn't doing all that pre me becoming famous? And we've been here where it's like I've done all I need to do for her, but she didn't want to take the proper steps to go do what needs to be done. I'm not just going to give her money because I know what she's going to do with that. She's going to squander it on drugs. And I'm not going to be the one who's going to sit around with that guilt of enabling my mother and her drug habit, because what if I gave her that money and she OD'd and then I heard that she died? Then I have to live with that guilt. But a lot of y'all don't think about that because that's not your mother. So when people go around trying to say stuff, that's what they jump on. But it's like, now would you do the same thing if that was your mother? Put yourself in these people's shoes in their situation. Now, and it's sad because, like I was saying, with Lil Nas X, he's been so used to being accused of pulling stunts and shows. Then when something actually happens for real, then he ends up, there ends up being a situation where y'all he winds up in a situation that's dangerous or life threatening or whatever the case is. It's kind of like whenever you watch a Friday the 13th movie and you have like the big prankster, the one who always pulls a little joke, and it's like, you don't take him serious, like the kid that was in part 3 where Jason got his mask. Then he finally ends up dead. And people think he was pulling a prank, and he wasn't. Jason killed him, cut his throat. So yeah, they're saying that they don't want him to end up like Matthew Perry. So speaking to the Daily Mail, one insider revealed they said some of them are worried he'd be exploited by Matthew Perry if he doesn't receive help. The comparison is a sobering one. Perry, who became a household name as Chandler Bing on Friends, died in October of 2023. Damn, it's been almost 2 years. Damn, time flies. Died in October 2023 at age 54. He was found unresponsive in the jacuzzi at his LA home. I sworn he passed away like this earlier this year or last year. I did not know it was 2023. I think it might be a mistake. It had to be 2024 or something. An autopsy determined Perry's death was caused by the acute effects of ketamine, with drowning, coronary artery disease, and buprenorphine. Buprenorphine. Jesus, say that 10 times fast. I ain't never seen that word before. I think it's pronounced buprenorphine. Say that. You would literally get tongue tied. Also listed as contributing factors. Now, investigators later found that multiple doctors had supplied Perry with dangerous high amounts of ketamine, raising concerns about medical exploitation. Yeah, especially when it comes to celebrities, because they know they got the money. And it's like, I guess they medical job, they jobs and everything that they got as doctors, you would think that pays good money. But I guess when you 60 years old and still paying off your damn student loans, they be taking, money off the top and highlighting, and night lighting or moonlighting is the word I was looking for. Moonlighting as freaking drug dealers with a medical degree. So those close to Lil Nas X worry he could be at similar risk if he doesn't receive proper treatment. Now, after years in the spotlight, family members fear opportunists would take advantage of his vulnerability, which some people was feeling like that's already what's happening. Because I've seen videos of him online where I think he was butt naked and he took a photo with oh no, he wasn't a nigga. He had the white briefs on. Took a picture with this boy, and they was telling him about coming to the party. He was like, "Where the party at?" or whatever, and they started taking photos and stuff. So there are people out here that they see Lil Nas X and they exploit him, or it's the friends that he's hanging out with. So who knows? Because we don't have the full story. We're just going based off of footage that we've gotten that was sold apparently or given to TM. Well, I'm sure somebody paid for it or TMZ paid for it. They're going based off of that type of stuff. So when you have those type of people, it's like, okay, now they're trying to get paid off this boy's pain. It's kind of sad. So they said beyond worries about his health, those close to Lil Nas X are also sounding the alarm about the people surrounding him. The same insider who spoke to the Daily Mail claimed the rapper has struggled with trust for years and now may be leaning on the wrong crowd, saying, quote, Nas doesn't feel that he can trust many people from his past because they try to exploit him financially. But some of those people suspect his new friends can't be trusted either. Now, according to the insider, okay, he's 26. They said the 26-year-old has been spending time with seedy characters in LA, some of whom are allegedly living in his home and leeching off him. Oh, I know exactly those types. That's why I was like, I need to leave LA. That place is a damn succubus. Like it's literally the city of lost angels. Because it feels like a bunch of lost damn souls out there who will sell their souls just for a little piece of that fame. For now, Lil Nas X's fate rests in the hands of the courts. Now, following his chaotic arrest on Ventura Boulevard, officials claim the rapper will remain in custody until at least Monday. Didn't I tell you that it's like you in jail for the weekend, you're not getting out the midnight Monday. And they said when a judge is set to review his case, until then he has no option to post bail. Unlike minor offenses that often result in a citation and release, his charged suspicion of battery on a police officer requires a mandatory court appearance. The decision leaves the 26-year-old tart topper behind bars as family, friends, and fans anxiously wait to see how this case unfolds. Now, back in 2020, he did speak candidly to Variety about the toll fame and loss had taken on him during his meteoric rise, saying, so much happened during my rise, drugs and murders. He recalled pointing to the tragic death of Nipsey Hussle, Triple X Tentacion, and Juice WRLD as pivotal moments that weighed heavily on him. The passing of his grandmother in 2018 hit even harder. She was the first person close to me who died. It was devastating and it made me a hypochondriac. I'd wake up, heart racing. It was scary. At the time, the rapper admitted to self medicating with heavy marijuana as a way to cope, though he later said the practice helped him feel more connected to the universe and gave him a different perspective of life. Then also, like, he was doing shrooms and things too. So they say as the headlines surrounding Nas X's arrest and alleged overdose continue to swirl, fans have taken to social media to voice their concern and the hope that the star finds the help he needs. So one person says sending prayers up for and that would be Montero, and his family. One supporter wrote on X using the rapper's birth name. Another fan added, I'm heartbroken with the latest news about Little Nas X. We should just respect and wish him well. And then others focus on the positive impact he's already had in the world. Said, I really hope Little Nas X is okay and getting the care he needs. Everyone has tough nights, but I believe in his purpose. His music and his message have inspired so many of us, and I know he still has so much more to give, lifting him up in prayer and sending nothing but love his way. So there's a lot of people definitely out here rooting for you. We were rooting for you. We're all rooting for you. But last but certain, and I'm also rooting for him because I like Little Nas X, despite all the drama, conflama, and stuff that he was going through. I definitely think the boy is talented. He's had a couple of great bops or whatever, but kind of like what I was saying before about like other artists like a Carly Rae Jepsen or Ava Max. You could be like that moderately famous pop act. I think he needs to lead the hip hop alone. You can still rap and stuff, but just go more towards the hipster crowd and a lot of the queer kids and all this stuff. The queer kids and the girls, they're going to support you, and that'll be a loyal fan base. If don't worry about these hardcore rap fans, which why does this majority of them is white boys anyway. So do what you do, figure out who you are as an artist. But as I close this out, there was one more thing that I came across. I wish I remembered who actually posted this, but um wait, I think it's Leo Herrera posted this on Instagram. So I wanted to read y'all this and I was like, you want to know something? You didn't say nothing but a word. So he wrote this. He said, what's 26-year-old gay hasn't strutted home in they undies at 4 a.m. after not you out here spilling. because quiet as it's kept. There's been things I've done at 4 a.m. And one of them has been strutting down the street while under the influence. So not you trying to ring all our bells and put our tea out here. But anyway, so we said, what 26-year-old gay has a strut at home in their undies at 4 a.m. after a wild night out? I sure did, but had I been this famous, friends would have made sure I wasn't alone or filmed by an asshole to sell to TMZ. Famous, isolating, and corrosive. He was hospitalized for an OD, likely time-delayed drugs like KG or Tina that still have the gays in a silent chokehold. And of course, race. Had this been Troye Sivan, had this been Troye Sivan, police and media treatment would be very different. Within a week, Troy could capitalize on this with a cute apology and underwear merch. Will Little Nas be given the same grace? And now that bigots are saying this is what he gets for mocking Jesus, who in the gay community will rally for him like when he was trolling our religious enemies, and who will abandon him as just a black gay boy who did too much, which is what a lot of people were saying on social media. And then said, and concluded by saying, black and brown gay boys who operate in predominantly white spaces often turn to drugs and alcohol as a way to take up space and calm the anxiety of feeling invisible. I wish I had recognized this trigger earlier. And I feel like, yeah, that's definitely something that it was like me growing up. I'm look, quiet as it's kept. I'm glad that I didn't have social media when I was Lil Nas X age, that it wasn't as big as it is now. So when I was in my 20s, I was like out here being messy and doing all kinds of crazy stuff and experimenting and trying to find myself. But can you imagine doing that when you're a celebrity and when you're famous? So I could totally understand where he's coming from. I definitely get, what he's dealing with. And I feel like we need to owe people some grace. Even if this is a stunt, the way that I'm breaking all this down, and people, I just feel like people should look at it from that angle and realize that, yeah, this is a wake up call not only for him, but if you are someone who's witnessed this and seen something like this, and this is you, hopefully this will be a wake up call for you as well, and be like, you know what, I did not realize I was being this messy. Me seeing what Lil Nas X is going through helped me get my act together and help me get off them drugs. Because yes, K, as in ketamine, because ketamine is a silent epidemic in the gay community. We've been losing a lot of people. I'm not saying that Matthew Perry was a homosexual. I mean, I don't know. I ain't sleep with him. So he was on K. Then we had the Vivian from Drag Race, who was a K user and died from complications of using it, a KOD. And then it's like, yeah, if you're in the gay community, it's either y'all doing K. And I remember K was a thing when I was in the clubs. And this was like, me growing up in New York City in the club scene in the late 90s going into the 2000s. So K was big then. And also Tina is like crystal meth. That's why I call people method. When I say Methodist, I'm not talking about the religion. I'm talking about the drug. So that's, I like to make little things when, y'all know when I come up with different words and stuff on the show. But anyway, so it's like meth and Tina. Well, meth, Tina, same shit. Tina and K, two big predominant drugs. And then now they're saying Tucci is this big thing, but I don't hear people really doing Tucci that much. But or Tucci, however the hell you say that stupid name. But like I said, Kay and Tina are the two main things that are an epidemic in the queer community, and it is a thing that a lot of the gays use to cope, especially if you're a black queer person who's trying to find community. They get caught up in that because they want to feel a sense of desire. They want to be desired, and a lot of times when you're dealing with racism and homophobia, especially in our community, also. You deal with a lot of racism and things. Black people feel like, oh, I need to do these drugs with a partying and playing and all that other stuff just so that way I can feel a little comfortable and relatable in that sort of way. So yeah, this is definitely something that I hope that Lil Nas X, if he was on drugs or if it was a mental breakdown due to the stressfulness of the career and figuring out how he's going to make money, because the word on the curb was he was broke too, that he was struggling financially and stuff out here in these streets. And he's out here trying to appease these people, and these people are mooching off of him. And he's keeping up appearances and living in and out of Airbnbs. This is the tea that's been coming out. I don't know if majority of it is true, but this is the rumors that's been floating around about him in regards to his career, that he's been struggling a little bit financially. And so hopefully he gets the help he needs. And when he does, that he can get back on his horse. Maybe he can write a song about his incident and on how he came out on the other side. And this will be the comeback that he definitely needs, and realizes that you don't need to resort to stunts and shows in order to be a memorable artist. Sometimes just being yourself and being open and honest about who you are, that's enough. So I say all of this to say, as I pull out the wrong thing. What do you guys think of this story regarding Little Nas X and all the latest that's going on with him? All the drama regarding that. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. So y'all know what to do. Put all that stuff in the comments down below.